All right, happy Thursday. It is July 18th, 2024, and we still got a lot of volatility kicking around in this market, really kicking it in both directions. So that's what we need for some of our systems to work, especially these the automated trading systems with our futures contracts. So we had here's the Dow and you can see it's been on a little bit of a pullback lately. No big deal because we just had a nice peak the other day. But yeah, these are a lot of stop outs in a row, and this could freak a lot of people out. But you do this many stop outs in a row, and then eventually you're going to get this kind of action to follow up, and that's what makes your equity peaks kick in. So, and at the end of the day, what you want is a nice, gently sloping, upward sloping equity curve. This pullback and that pullback are looking pretty similar to each other. And right after that pullback, we got a nice rally. So, uh, expecting something similar. Here's the Russell, which is climbing, which is great. New equity peak today. Right off of that kicker right there. And the NASDAQ has been on a pullback, but this is a severe pullback back here for this system. This is becoming a severe pullback, but not terrible in the scheme of things. So and a lot of stop outs, but we just had a great trade the other day, so it's been whatever a trail of a few down, but we're looking for like this type of a rally again. So look at there, it happened here, happened here, happened here. We had sideways action for like a month, but we still had equity peaks in the middle of it. So I'm just fine with that. All right, manual trading systems. Let's get into what the markets are doing. So the Dow today was down right here, 533 points or 1.29%. However, it's still up above 40,000. It's a 40,665, which has been the relative recent new high, that 40,000 mark. So, yeah, did it pull back? Sure, that's part of this volatility. We're going to pull back, and then I'm still guessing we're going to go higher. But, you know, we could get a deeper pullback, and that could freak a lot of people out, and that's probably what we need to get some buying interest stoked up when this thing comes back down into this zone right here, where basically old resistance, which was what this was, becomes new support. And that's right at 40,000. So 40,261 is this dotted line. There's these dotted lines are on here for a reason. I don't draw them. They come in off of these swings and the pivots. So that 50% pullback level is pretty normal. You can even see on the monthly chart there was a pivot level that happened there that got hit, pulled back, and then broke through, pulled back again, and then finally broke through. So that old resistance became support, even though at some point it could get retested too, and that'd be all the way down to 35,000, which someday will probably happen. It'll freak a lot of people out. All right, the S&P today went down 43 points or 0.78%, and it is red. Red candle. That's tomorrow's candle, and we got a bullish future cloud. But we do have a topping looking candle on the monthly chart, and we've got basically another week or so, 10 days before the month turns. The Russell, we'll look at the IWM, it went down 1.93%. It still looks pretty bullish to me. Haven't hit our target yet. We hit a target, that white target, and yeah, actually looks really pretty good. The thin cloud over here probably is something to take note of. I think we're going to have to see some back and forth pretty good for a while before this thing can rally. But we do have a squeeze fired long on the monthly chart if that holds out for the rest of the month. The NASDAQ, that was the Russell and the ES, and yeah, the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ today went down 0.7%. Red candle yesterday, red candle today. This is becoming a doji candlestick, and or having some indecision, which at this point probably would point to potentially getting into a bounce in this level, this zone down here. Bullish future cloud, looking for these indicators, momentum type indicators, to bottom out and start to reverse. Let's look at IYT, the transports, because I was looking for a pullback into a trade, and it looks like we're getting that. Now I need to start seeing some reversal signals, basically on the momentum charts. It'd be nice if we got a green candlestick coming out of this for the month. That would be a nice trade into the next couple months, actually. The 50 and the 100 are not aligned. That's why they're red down here. But they look like they're wanting to try to turn, so that's going to be fun when that happens. That'll give us a longer term bullish signal. Alright, oil was a little pullback today. We had a really nice reversal candle, gap candle yesterday, turned green. Now we're back up above here, but we're gray, so we'll keep watching this. And we, looks like, have started a squeeze on the daily chart. We've been in a squeeze on the monthly chart. The future cloud is bullish out here. So that's, everything looks pretty good here in the scheme of things. Today it went down at 0.89%. So the earnings, or not, I shouldn't say the earnings, the futures up here are, I think, being driven by some earnings results. Netflix and FLX, I think, reported earnings tonight. And let's turn on future, or extended hours, and apply that and look at it, and then take a look at this in a 15-minute chart. Oh, it wasn't so great. So that's, yeah, we got an initial move down pretty good. So that's not what's driving the markets, apparently. So we'll see what happens coming out of that, because the futures are looking good. Not great, just good. And then let's look at gold, GLD, which is also on a bit of a pullback after a new breakout of that zone right there. And bonds, TLT. I'm not going to get into bonds until we get a green candle on the monthly chart, because I got burned already a couple times, much as I want to, because everything on the daily chart looks pretty good. Who am I kidding? I might jump into this because the daily chart needs to turn into the monthly chart, and that's poised. It looks pretty good for a potential, at least short-term trade. And if that drives up past this and closes for the month, that is a new buy signal for the month. So with a bullish future cloud, bullish on balance volume, it's checking a lot of boxes. The 50 and 100 are in the right direction, and it's just recently turned green, if you can see that right there. Alright, that's enough of stocks. Let's look at, well, no, it's not. Apple, Microsoft. Microsoft's got earnings in a few days. That I'm expecting that to pop, maybe in a pretty good way. Tesla. It's got earnings also just in a few days. 7/23. I think that's next Tuesday. So we'll watch for that. And let's flip to the. Let's look at the VIX here. So the VIX is popping, and this is something to really watch for, because when we get a pullback in and close inside the Bollinger Bands, I would say that is a place to be taking note that the drawdown on the major markets is probably over, or at least momentarily. So unless you get a reverb like this one, but in a lot of cases it takes that kind of reversal and then you start to fall back down to low volatility, which was pretty bullish for stocks when we had this low volatility band and some of these other low volatility bands, especially this one back here. Alright, let's flip to stockcharts.com and look at their point and figures and the bullish percent indexes. The industrials today tacked on a new X to the upside, put in a point and figure buy signal. The NYA up 0.41%. The transports down 7.69%. The NASDAQ down 0.19% or hardly anything. The S&P up 0.59%. The S&P 100 tacked on a new X, up 3%. And the NASDAQ 100 is a new O to the downside, minus 2.04%. This will be fun when this one reverses, because I think then we'll have pretty much everything in a relative bullish way in the overall markets. So we'll watch for that, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.